Hey folks, Scully Nomad here. Hope you are well. So today's episode we're going to be changing out the header tank for a brand new one. Now the tools that I needed for this one is my trusty Teng tool set, flathead screwdriver, a couple of different pliers, and of course a new coolant. So I did a major service on the car a few months ago, so I didn't do a coolant change as such. I just drained what was in the reservoir and changed over the header tank. So I was having a fault code with the old one, and also it was a little bit crusty inside, as you can see. There we go. Beautiful.
Just for reference, from eBay, it was £21.99 for the header tank versus Click Mechanica £161.84. I did have the coolant, but the coolant was under £20 for 4 litres. I'll leave the link in the description below of the one that I used. And the Teng tool set that I have, which is very good.
For those who are new to the channel, I do a lot of DIY, especially with my car, which is held together with duct tape and hope. And I also own a 40-foot sailboat, which I'll show you now. Now the boat takes a lot of maintenance itself, so a large part of the channel will be a lot of DIY, but if you do like outdoor adventure like fishing, sailing and all that type of stuff, I'll be including that when the summer's on its way.
So first of all I'm going to make some access, so I'm going to remove the battery because the whole unit's going to slide forward. For you eagle-eyed viewers, I'm not a small person or anything, the car's jacked up because I'm changing the starter motor, which should arrive tomorrow. So in the meantime, I'm doing this job. Now this is 10mm, which I'm using the Teng tool set here, which was £44. I'll leave that in the link description. But I'll be changing the starter motor just by using this, so I like them because they've got the deep socket sets here. I'm going to try and explain everything as easy as I can for everybody, because obviously there's a mixed group of people here. So you want to do the negative first, and it's going to go left, okay? So you want the ratchet over this side on the right. So it's going to loosen it and just pull it off. So you just want to pull it down out of the way somewhere. Now I've just used the flathead screwdriver just to pop this open. There's a little catch just there. But yeah, it's just a case of undoing these now, so I can get access. Now you can see the gap between the header tank and the battery. So those terminals and cables behind there. So you can't just simply slide it forward, so this is why we're taking away the battery. It looks quite daunting, but you can do it. Okay, to be able to slide the battery back, took this off, which I just needed the extension arm with the deeper socket. That was a 13mm. Now I'm able to slide the battery this way. These clips either side was attached to the battery, so you just kind of have to pull them, and that's going to free up a bit more room. So I'm going to actually just move the battery out of the way. Okay, now with the battery empty, this bit at the front I'm just going to pull up, slide out of the way, and I'm going to undo these bolts here. This is going to be able to remove the whole thing. Now we'll have easy access to here. I've left all the connections available there. Now I've taken the 3 bolts out. This is just going to pull up as well. Just pull it out of the way. Don't worry that it looks like a giant mess right now, because it is. Now there's 2 other things holding it down. So you just pull that tab up and this will open. And then further down where the battery box is, there's one there. Now the strap that holds it in, there's a bolt the other side. So you can put a extension socket down to unloosen it down there. You can move these cables up the way and you'll see it, hopefully. And then we'll just get the box out. Okay, so I just pulled the battery box over here. There is a cable tie on one of the wiring harnesses, but I'm just going to leave it there because it's not going to get in my way. So we have the sensor to detach here, these 2 hose pipes, but first we're going to empty this. Now where the coolant drain hose is just underneath here, so it's up, alright, there it is.
So just in front, basically here, that's where it is. Now at the end you can use a flathead screwdriver if it's stuck, but basically you're going to turn it to the back of the car that way. Now there is a hose bit here, so if you've got a little bit of hose attachment you can do that, but I don't want too much out because I've just changed the coolant on the when I did the major service change. Undo the cap, it will come out a lot quicker, so I just want to basically just drain it out of here. Now it's been drained out of the tank, all I need to do is pinch these together and these together, pull out the hoses. I'm going to start at the top one there. Now be careful because you don't want to damage them because you want to use them again. Okay, there's one. Let's do the next one. You just squeeze and then pull. I actually found adjustable pliers worked a lot better when I reassembled them later. I found them in the garage. So now with every job you always want to have plenty of tissue spare. Okay, now I'm going to unplug the sensor down here. So if you compare it to the new one, there's a little tab at the bottom, so the clip's going to be pulling like this. So as it's in the tank, oh, wrong way around. Okay, so as it's this way, the clip's going to be down, okay, like that. So I just used a flathead screwdriver for it, and just in there. Now this is the main clip that holds it down, everything else slides in. So again, when you compare it, you got the plastic slider at the bottom and at the top and to the side. Then just at the bottom you got the clip there, which will come up. There we go. That's what the clip looks like. Okay, now the way it comes out, the whole unit will slide forward. So this is why we're taking away the battery box. And you need to give it a little bit of a pull. Once you're away from this clearance here, you'll be able to lift it up. So I did put a tissue in here just to get any excess, and I put the hose up as well. So here we go. Trying to do this filming with one hand, by the way, guys. So there we go. Now it's a case of just putting everything back in. So we're going to put this in the bottom here, and then the catch here is going to slide on there. So it's going to go down and back. So in at the bottom first, lining up the back, and then push. So I'm going to need to give it a nice good push on this one. There we go, and it's clicked nicely. I'm going to put the metal catch on first. So the metal clip back in, all the way down, and then we're going to put the actual sensor back in. So as you squeeze the sensor together, you'll hear it click. The click will be at the back to say that it's back on. And there's the clip that I put back on. And I'm going to do the hoses next. So I'm going to start with the bottom and do the top. You can use the adjustable ones like this. And a small one. There we go. Now while everything's open, if you just want to give a little clean down, get rid of any loose leaves, you see anything as well which looks like it might need to be done next time. Looks good though. Now we just do everything back in reverse. So let's get this out of the way. It's going to hook it around the top because the battery pack is going to go in first. Don't want to force anything, so be careful. See if there's anything in your way that's going to cause you any restrictions. So you can see the cables here. There we go, going on. Okay, now we just need to line up and put the bolts back in. So 1, 2, 3, and then a fourth one here. Okay, for those who have skipped a little bit of the channel, basically I own a 40-foot boat and I do a lot of the maintenance on there myself. So if you do enjoy this type of videos, let me know and you can have a look at my old ones. I got a little bit of a boat tour video that I have, but I also look after my own car, so do all its servicing to the best as I can. Now, I'm not a mechanic, I'm just a dude, so you know, a lot of the stuff you can do, you just need a little bit of confidence. Everything's a bit like a jigsaw puzzle. So the job that I'm doing now would have cost me £100 to do if I got somebody else to do it, and of course I would have had to go when the mechanic was available and you know, hang around, so I would have probably lost a day's worth of work waiting for somebody else to do the car. And for those who have skipped, so here's the access. So I wouldn't have been able to move this without taking the battery box out of place, but I did leave this intact. I only needed to slide that out, slide this out, and do the bolts. Alright, now I'm just going to put the battery back in. So it turns out my microphone receiver had died. Okay, so the terminals are labelled. Oh, almost lost the camera then. Now the terminals are marked, okay. So you see the plus on this side in plastic, negative here. So the negative is black. Now when you put the battery back in, it will always be positive first, negative last. When you put the negative in, it might get a little bit of a spark or something. Don't worry, you're okay. Okay, so let's put this back in. Okay, now I'm just going to make sure the battery is in position correctly. So basically it slid all the way down last time, and then there's a hole, let me just grab you, down here. So the hole there with the light has this attachment to it, so that stops the battery jumping up and down. That's a 13mm, and you'll need to use the You'll need to use the long one with the long socket, and it just about reaches in there. And then my car, that's held together with duct tape and hope, is 15 years old. I bought it 3.5 years ago at 90,000 miles. Now it's doing just around 140,000 miles. 149,000, yeah. Okay, now I'm just going to do these. So you just open up the tab at the top. That will allow you to release it out, and then they just click back into place, like so. There's another one just underneath the camera, just here. And then it's this one. So again, this is just going to literally just slide into place. It's a couple of grooves that it slots into, and then you can just push it down, like so. And then this back one, again, just lifts up, puts it back in. You can hear a weird noise in the background, that's just the car braking, not my car. Okay, so again, we're just going to open this up. Got a tab here, one just at the back there. There we go. And then I'm going to click it into place. So there we go. Hopefully you guys managed to see that. Let me, so this just basically clicks back into place. So it will clip onto the actual battery itself, either side. And then it's a case of putting the battery terminals back on. So the one on this side is going to go here, and then the one from earlier is going to go there, like so. Okay, so these ones are 13 mils. So basically you have the one loose here, one there, so it was pretty obvious the layout of them. And then this one here is a 10 mil. So I've tightened these ones up already. Just need to do the last one again. So when you're looking at a bolt, it's going to go right this way.
If you wanted, you could use like a contact cleaner to clean the terminals before you tighten them up.
Give it a little wobble, make sure everything's okay, and close it up. Okay, now everything's back in place with the exception of the negative terminal. Okay, so all the sensors have been put in, the terminals are fine. Now, sometimes when you re-energize the battery, it will either spark or make a little noise. Don't be scared. So this one was just fine. I mean, you can touch the terminal, it's not a problem. And then I'm just using a 10 mil just to tighten it up. The only thing you don't want to do is if you've got a long spanner and you're tightening it and you end up touching the two terminals, because you will know about it. Now we're just going to put the battery box back on. Okay, with the external battery case, you can see there's a little clip there, so it'll slide in, then you get the back catches. Mine's actually broke, I didn't do that, honest. And then, yep, it's all good. I mean, now we want to remove all the tools that we have. Just double check the engine bay, just in case. Looking good, and then all we need to do is fill this up. Okay, now if you're a messy worker like me, you can make your own funnel using a plastic water bottle. So just chop it open. Like so. Got yourself a funnel. Boom, there we go. And then we're just going to fill up the tank. So the fill mark is basically where the seal is. Now I did mention earlier that I have a video which I did a major service with, which I did a coolant change, so you can go ahead and watch that after if you want to have a go at doing your own service. I recommend you doing it because the way I did it, it was around £100 and I used the best equipment and the best oil, and I did a comparison versus the local garages and the major ones like Quick Fit and so on.
Just like this one, I've tried to make it as easy for everybody to understand. The video's had over 5,000 views and good feedback, but I basically saved over £200 doing it myself. It took a few hours, but mostly because I was filming it, but I just did it in my own time.
Alright, there we go. So I'm going to run the engine when my new starter motor arrives, and I'll be fitting that, so that will be my next video. If you're blessed or a little bit tipsy, the Super Thanks is available, and if you want to buy me a coffee, that would be great. Thank you very much.
Now anytime you disconnect the battery, I always roll down the front window just in case I need access. And with the Insignias, you'll get this code 59. If you just undo the windows all the way down, all the way back up, it will go away. There we go. My next job is going to be changing the starter motor because my car is having trouble starting. I've had the glow plugs changed and it's a new battery, of course. The next job after will be the brakes, but I really need to find some work first. So yeah, thank you very much, guys.